Hello, everyone. I just opened up and went live, and I realized I did not figure out the crowns. Ruth is still silver, so that's definitely something I need to look into. Bill J, I'm happy that you have retained #1 status. So, and I can't think of a worse thing for a meditation community to have competitive ranking. So I will say this. So for those that don't know me, hello, my name is Andrew. I'm a certified mindfulness meditation coach by trade and training, a software engineer. Folks will potentially know me from the Do Nothing Project. Welcome to Wednesday. Thank you for being here. With that out of the way, so I think I signed up for hello to Paul and Marjorie, Bill B, hey Aimless, and hello to Gabrielle as well. Mike G, it is hot up in Minnesota, Mike G, and to Lisa as well, and Bill J. I think I got most of you. If I didn't, you should shout. Oh, hello, Savant. Yeah, so competitive meditation, like not a not a thing that anybody really signed up for or really wants, potentially. But yeah, so I do think that at some point I had signed up for the experimental community features that YouTube may or may not roll out, and that may be how I ended up with it. Thank you. Yeah, I got this. I've had this for a while, and I wore this the night that the video didn't work when I filled in on the Do Nothing Project. So I thought I'd wear it again. So I saw the crowns and everything on the Do Nothing Project, and I don't think that for the Do Nothing Project that we'd signed up for the experimental community features, so I don't know. So anyway, I'm just having a series of these. I don't know about everybody else, but like life just seems to feel like I'm constantly behind. But I'm very curious about the crowns. So yeah, so I'm gonna leave myself a note here. All right. So there you go. Why crowns? Why? So we'll figure that out. An unintentional holiday and ad, not a sponsor. Okay, so yeah, so no Fred, no cookies. Hey, Brooke, welcome. Super glad. Yeah, so I will so if you haven't signed up for the email that I send out, most of the times I send it out the day of. Sometimes I send it out a little bit early. You can send me an email there, and I will add you to the unofficial list. You can always reply to any of the emails I send and ask to be taken off the list. That is a very nice PSA, Gabrielle. Do not mess with poison ivy or poison oak. I hear poison oak is pretty gnarly as well. So if you email, or if you're on that email, and I figure out the crowns, I will let y'all know, because it would be nice to figure out, because then we can figure it out for for the Do Nothing Project too. So 2 birds, 1 configuration, something like that with setting. Okay. I don't usually say this stuff, but don't forget to like. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. I'm dangerously close to 500 subscribers. So you may see the subscriber count has ticked up from the 300s and 312-ish to dangerously close to 350. So thank you for everyone who is subscribing and who is liking and doing all of the things with tapping bells and whatnot. Super appreciate that. And then a couple folks have generously offered me Donna, and then there was a comment recently about why don't I mention that often, and one answer is because I don't know, I'm bad at asking for that kind of stuff. So something, again, no, this is all offered for free, no pressure on that front, but if you've been to the CEC, you'll have gotten some variation of the we appreciate your support and it's not required. So the email address that I mentioned for the mailing list is associated with PayPal. And so, oh yes, sorry, Donna is donation, not Donna Summer or anything else. So Donna would be generosity, I think, is the paramita for that. So, that's that. And I will practice mentioning that from time to time. Thank you. And then thank you to folks who had subscribed to Substack as a way to give me support. I appreciate that as well. All right. We've covered more than I thought. And we're going to cover one more thing. I'm going to do what I would call is my cover song version of a loving kindness, a set of loving kindness practice or a practice that uses loving kindness phrases that are Jack Kornfield's. So punk rock bands would do cover versions of their favorite songs. So Black Flag would do Louie Louie. There's a number of these kind of things. So I thought it would be nice to do a homage to Jack Kornfield. And I will offer the phrases. I will give you prompts around them. But the loving kindness piece will be the focus of our 25-minute sit. As I haven't mentioned that yet, we'll be sitting together for 25 minutes. And at the end, the last 5 minutes, we'll let go of the technique and we'll do nothing. So yes, that's where we're headed. And then really quick, just so that there's a little bit of repetition. So I may drop, or I may offer that you can drop out, may I trust the world or trust this world. I think that is actually, if you're in a good spot and you feel like you're a resource, that's actually kind of an interesting thing to kind of nudge yourself with. And it's Wednesday and things are crazy. So if you don't feel like that, we can drop that out. And then these are, so we'll start off with friend in need, kind of, for who we're offering these phrases to, a neutral person, and then we'll work our way up to ourselves. So that's where we're headed. I make this all feel so planned. All right, so thank you so much for being here on a Wednesday. I really appreciate that. I have an inviter, and I will invite the bell. I almost forgot. I will. 25 minutes on the clock. Start that, and we'll invite the bell. Ooh. All right. So in the spirit of Letterkenny, a super soft bell to start our meditation together. We'll begin by establishing our posture. I always begin with the posture just because I feel like it's such a pivotal part of our practice, establishing the posture. And we don't need to be super tense and uptight about it. So we're looking for being upright without being uptight. Allowing a natural curvature of the spine, the shoulders over the hips, the feet flat on the floor. I'll focus on the seated posture, but you could be standing, lying down, or walking, all equally spiritual. And then just kind of getting an idea of like what are we bringing with us into our sit. or what's already here now that we've decided to be somewhat stationary for the next 25 minutes. And really, it's a head nod of acknowledgement, not an attempt to chase any of our feelings away. So we might be buzzy or maybe ornery on a Wednesday. Again, not a problem. Seeing if we can spot some tension. Again, also not chasing it away, but acknowledging it. You'll hold tension in different places. You'll know them better than I will, but I always check in for my shoulders, my jaw, around the eyes. And in the noticing, sometimes it will release. And if it doesn't, it's our first opportunity to bring equanimity to our sit. And then finally, a few deliberate breaths. Slow and low is the tempo that we're going for. Breathing in through the nose allows us to breathe low into the belly. And as that inhale turns around and becomes the exhale, seeing if we can extend and accentuate it. And so there's always the situation for a loving kindness sit that it might not be a match for where you are right now. So if that is the case, you can mark this waypoint of just sitting and knowing that you're sitting, or just sitting and being present with the sounds that are in your environment and the sounds in my environment that bleed into your environment. You can always come back to that. All right. So the pattern is, we can do this kind of, can do this with as a sort of concentration where we're focusing on the phrases if you don't feel the warmth. But I invite you to play with stoking the warmth around these phrases. If loving kindness sounds just too ooey gooey, you can think of this as a friendliness practice. I'll offer the phrases, and then later I'll offer sort of the one word version of each. But first, let's bring to mind someone you know that you would like to offer the phrases to, someone who could benefit from well wishes. Maybe it's someone who's coming up on a death anniversary of a loved one. Maybe it's somebody who's just having a hard time with things. Maybe someone who doesn't want their kids to be going back to school. Any of those sort of things. So I'll give you the phrases and the directive for you, for your person that's come to mind. May you love yourself just as you are. May you sense your worthiness and well-being. May you trust this world. May you hold yourself in compassion. May you meet the suffering and ignorance of others with compassion. So again, lengthy phrases. I'll offer them a few times. May you love yourself as you are. May you sense your worthiness and well-being. May you trust this world. May you hold yourself in compassion. May you meet the suffering and ignorance of others with compassion. And when I am in a good groove, just the one word of each phrase is enough for me to feel a bit of stoking of warmth. So I'll offer the one word version you can use, and then keeping your person in mind. Love, sense, trust, hold, meet. Love, sense, trust, hold, meet. And continuing with our person, may you love yourself just as you are. May you sense your worthiness and well-being. May you hold yourself in compassion. And again, you can always offer the two phrases I just skipped. May you love yourself as you are. May you sense your worthiness and well-being. May you hold yourself in compassion. May you love yourself as you are. May you sense your worthiness and well-being. May you hold yourself in compassion. And seeing if you can bring someone to mind, neutral or maybe slightly above neutral. I tend to pick people that come to mind when I think of my day-to-day. So store clerks are my go-to. May you love yourself as you are. May you sense your worthiness and well-being. May you hold yourself in compassion. Love, sense, hold. May you love yourself as you are. May you sense your worthiness and well-being. May you hold yourself in compassion. And then you can always rotate a new neutral person or a new slightly warmer than neutral. Shifting the phrases to fast or slow, whatever is more pleasing. May you love yourself as you are. May you sense your worthiness and well-being. And may you hold yourself in compassion. And then finally, bringing ourselves to mind. May I love myself as I am. May I sense my worthiness and well-being. May I trust this world. May I hold myself in compassion. May I meet the suffering and ignorance of others with compassion. And then as we check in when we start at the beginning of our sits, just checking in now and seeing if you've got an inner recoil to offering the phrases. So if you do, you can choose your own sort of adventure here. So one is to shift to your home base for a little bit, seeing if you can stabilize. So if that's the breath or body sensations, sounds, whatever your go-to home base is. I know the first phrase is tough for me at times. So you're welcome to stay with your home base. We'll go back to our phrases though. If you're ready, may I love myself as I am. May I sense my worthiness and well-being. May I hold myself in compassion. And then again, I'll offer the one-word sort of reverb versions. Love, sense, hold. Love, sense, hold. And returning to the longer phrases. Reminder if you're If you've not committed them to memory, which I haven't, may I love myself as I am. May I sense my worthiness and well-being. May I hold myself in compassion. May I love myself as I am. May I sense my worthiness and well-being. May I trust this world. May I hold myself in compassion. Sometimes when I'm working with longer phrases, my brain improvises, and the improvised version is sometimes even better than the correct version. And so if you found a version of the phrase you like, feel free to continue with it. And then expanding the circle to include everyone here and everyone that's going to watch this video. May you love yourself as you are. May you sense your worthiness and well-being. May you hold yourself in compassion. Everyone, may you love yourself as you are. May you sense your worthiness and well-being. May you hold yourself in compassion. And we can take our technique and with care, putting it on the shelf and shifting into our opportunity for do nothing. And as the name would suggest, you do not need to do anything. No technique necessary. So we're letting go of our intention to control our attention. And we're just sitting. And I will invite the bell to signal the end of our sit. Thank you for your practice. Thank you for making time to be here. Dedication to the merit. May the fruits of our practice be for the benefit of all beings. May our actions be for the benefit of all beings. So if there's just the urge to bow to you, humanity's bow, of course. And then earlier when I was talking about donations, I say Donna because I've heard that so much, which is it's kind of a funny one. So, oh, interesting, Mike. Yeah, it's interesting that it went by fast. So, and then I realized as I was using my cheat sheet that I forgot a word. Let's see if I can. So I forgot the word sense. So I will. So if you're watching this and you're trying to figure out the phrases, those again are from Jack Kornfield, and there'll be a link in the description to that. So I did say sense, right? Okay, so may I sense my worthiness and well-being. So these are phrases that I find challenging, but in a good way. And so I hope you'd be proud of me. So often when people are guiding loving kindness practices, they'll say like, feel free to make up your own phrases. And I think that's great, but sometimes we can fool ourselves and we'll pick maybe an easier version of a phrase and we won't challenge, or won't get a chance to challenge ourselves. So, and challenge yourself if you're ready to challenge yourself. I think that's one of the asides. So, yeah. So this was something I needed. So thank you for going along on the ride. Yeah, just from my experience, I felt pretty good by the end, pretty positive, which I don't always. I love to feel neutral, which sounds so funny, but I love to just be neutral. So there's somebody I follow on Instagram, and they were talking about how they've been worried with, or they've been plagued with thinking bad or thinking good or whatever, and they saw the situation where they just were neutral. They were like equanimity, total equanimity, and it was really easy to celebrate their celebration of that. So, all right, we're rapidly approaching the top of the hour. Thanks for the folks that liked and all that fun stuff. I mentioned you can always add yourself to the email list. I have calendar reminders now that are firing after the whole forgetting thing when we were in North Carolina. So I shouldn't forget in the future. And then I volunteer on Tuesdays and Thursdays with a grief support group, and so I totally forgot. I was like, oh, I was going to send a reminder out yesterday, or as I like to say, lasterday, and I didn't. So my goal for next week is to send something out on Tuesday, and my goal for next week is to know what's going on with the crowns, especially now that Ruth has been usurped. So, all right. Have an excellent rest of your week. Happy Thursday to our Australian viewers. And I'll see folks on Sunday. You were dethroned. Again, this competitiveness on in a meditation community is so funny. But there was a bill is still number one. So I think that's still a key. So, all right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see ya.